Hey, it's Cosmo with Solutions 8, and in this video, I want to talk to you about your data feed, which sounds like a really fun conversation, doesn't it? But if you're an online retailer, if you have an e-commerce store, you absolutely positively have to use a data feed solution. There's no other choice that you have, and don't rely on the onboard feed solutions that are being given to you by your e-commerce applications. Even Shopify, like Shopify's data feed's not abysmal, but what it does compared to what a data feed solution can do, it's just not their lane. So the application that we use is Datafeed Watch. I'm a huge fan. Full disclosure, we're Datafeed Watch partners. That said, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not a reseller. I'm not getting paid for this video. I'm just I'm very fond of their solution, and I think that I'm also on the homepage. I didn't know that was going to happen when I started recording. That's awesome. I just gave them this quote. It's kind of cool that it just got updated. I'm a really big fan of what Datafeed Watch provides, and one of the things that I want to offer up is they've got this really cool lead magnet, the complete guide to data feed optimization, and I'm just going to peruse through the table of contents here, but you can see the significant value that DFW is able to provide if you really know how to use it, and if you have to spend the time, kind of traversing through the granularities. Your data feed it's the full export. It's everything that you have to offer. It's your entire store. So here's all of my products. Here are all the information related to those products. Here are the variants. Here are the interdependent variants based off of variables that are being selected, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now you have to make sure that that data feed is number one, accessible, and you have different repositories that you're pushing that data feed into. So automatically that's a nightmare, and it's a data entry catastrophe, and Datafeed Watch really helps in terms of the remediation of that process. But more than that, because that's kind of, I don't want to say one and done, because it's ongoing updates, every new product or update, whatever. But once you've contended with it, once it ends up being a little bit more manageable, beyond that is really where the work is data feed optimization. I wouldn't trust an agency that doesn't use a data feed tool. Now, that doesn't mean that every single retailer on the planet needs data feed optimization on an ongoing basis. If you have like a low SKU count, or your products are ultra static, and you're working with an agency that just doesn't need Datafeed Watch because it's not going to take advantage of all of the specific use cases, I understand. But for the most part, for the vast majority of retailers, if you don't have a data feed optimization solution in place, then you're missing out on a significant percentage of the optimizations available to you, especially since with things like smart shopping, Google has taken so much of the control away from us in app. The strategy starts to move to things like on-site CRO recommendations and then data feed optimization. So things as far as split testing, or optimizing titles and descriptions, or making sure that URLs are consistent, or just consistency, continuity. The cleanliness of your feed is so important, and not using a data feed solution is going to put you at a significant disadvantage. So for my online retailers, if you're not using a data feed solution, you need to start. If you're working through an agency, you need to ask them to do that, and then make sure that they actually know what they're doing, because Datafeed Watch, I don't mind telling you, is not like you don't open it up and then immediately figure it out and think like, oh, all of this is intuitive. They've done a really good job providing content like this, but I mean, look at how robust this is. How many pages are we looking at? There's 70 pages here, and it's not like fluff. This isn't like one of HubSpot's lead magnets where they just offer you a bunch of junk that really doesn't mean anything. Like, this is actionable, and it's not all going to apply to you, obviously, but we're walking through how to optimize feed quality. Here's adding missing fields. And obviously most of this can be done inside your CMS. So if you're in Shopify, you can do the majority of these tasks in Shopify, but try doing them in aggregate across your entire product feed. Not a fun day, but Datafeed Watch makes those things available and accessible. So again, not a reseller, not trying to go for the hard pitch, but I do want you to be successful. I want you to be successful online. And what's really cool about Datafeed Watch too is I have yet to run into, well, maybe that's not true. Very few applications aren't going to play nicely, and when they don't, chances are they're like old, antiquated things that don't play nicely with anything. So DFW, because it's their core business model, has done a really good job at making sure that they're accessible. And they're not the only game in town. There's some alternatives too. I'm not going to name drop just because I like these guys so much. But if you don't use them, use somebody. I find them to be really cost efficient, really accessible, good support, all that good stuff. So anyway, I'm done being a fanboy. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you tomorrow.